We are overcommitted to things that we simply don't want or don't need to be doing, and then showing up to the function mad and resentful. That makes absolutely no sense, especially when we are the ones that are overcommitting. We're saying yes too much. We're doing too much. We're saying yes an overwhelming amount of times, right? And then we show up like, I don't want to be here, mad and resentful. Them people don't want your hating ass there with a sour puss. I love using that word. Hi, I'm Dr. TIFF, your relationship transformation coach. I've spent the past 20 years working with high-achieving women just like you who are crushing it in every area of their lives, everywhere except their relationships. And look, I get it. Finding the one ain't easy, and relationships are hard. But you know what's even harder? Cycling through the bad ones, or worse, staying in relationships when you already know they're not a good fit. You want a relationship of ease, uncomplicated, someone to love you down, but instead you've been suffering through bad dates, sexual incompatibility, and someone who might be good for somebody, but not for you. And if we're really being honest, you know that deep down, the work that really needs to be done starts and ends with you. If you're done wasting time in dead-end relationships and sick of looking for, chasing after, or trying to convince somebody to be the one, and you're ready to become the one, then baby, you're in the right place. So prop your feet and let's clink glasses, because I'm giving you the tea and the tips to fix your relationships. Let's go. Hey babes, it's me, Dr. Tip, and you are listening to Fix Your Relationships podcast. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. I want to tell you something special. I want to share with you that our Facebook community is alive and kicking, honey. She here, okay? And she ready, but she also lonely. It's lonely over there. It's lonely over there. We started this community, me being the first member, okay? We just started the community. And so I want you to come over and let's have a play date. Let's have an adult play date, okay? Meet me over in the Facebook group. It's a community that I have dreamed of cultivating and curating, of women, like-minded women, all on a journey to call in the love and the life that they want, that they desire, that they deserve, but also doing that while focusing on their own growth and transformation. So everything is happening over there. I really wanted a space where I can ask questions here on the podcast and you can answer them on the Facebook group. So just head on over there. I post every week about the topic of the week, which inevitably has to do with the podcast, but it's a way for us to interact with one another that is free, okay? Free 99. So just head on over there and I'll meet you there. We'll go to fyrcommunity.com. You'll have to answer a few questions because we got to make sure you're a real person and not a bot. But once you're in, you're in. And, give me a shout out. Say, hey, I'm here. It's on and poppin'. All right. So today I want to talk to you, yes, you, sweetie, about something very personal for me that I'm hoping that this message helps somebody. And I have loosely some notes. I am leaving room for the Holy Spirit. Okay. So whatever comes, and we'll deal with it when we deal with it. Okay. So, I want to talk to you about a transition that I had to make in my life back in 2015. And it's still something that I am cognizant of, that I think about, and that it's at front of mind at most of the major day-to-day decisions that I make. And that is, when I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder. I told you in a few episodes back, it's been a while, I think a couple months back, I told you guys that when I was about 5 months postpartum, I was having some issues with walking. And it turns out, long story short, if you want to listen to it, I'll tag the episode where I talked about it. I'm not going to go into great detail about that whole experience because it went off on a tangent. It was another topic, but that was another day. All right. So I was having trouble walking. My ability to walk was like really, really failing me. And turns out, long story short, I had an inflammation on my spine. And that was what was causing the difficulty with walking. That inflammation was brought on by an underlying autoimmune disorder that I did not know that I had. And that is sarcoidosis. Some of you may have heard of that. A few people that I know of, notable people that I know of that have it are Tisha Campbell, the great, incomparable Tisha Campbell, and also the late Bernie Mac had it as well. It's a disease that typically affects people's lungs, their lesions and things. And certainly it's affected my spine. It also has affected my eyes as well. A few years ago, I had cataracts. At the time, I think I was like 46, had cataracts in both eyes at a young age. At that point, I just got cataracts. The cataracts moved, but I also got LASIK. So when you see me in glasses, usually it's because I'm reading something, because the LASIK is just messed up. We'll talk about the fact that after you get LASIK, you need reading glasses. I ain't never needed reading glasses before in my life, but that shit gave me, I can't see. Okay. I can't read things without glasses now. Makes me sick. Anyway, I say that to say I've had to adjust since getting this particular diagnosis. I really did have to readjust and accept that I am no longer the person that I was before. Before, I was someone who could multitask, who I used to always brag about and say that I had a high tolerance for stress. Now, as an adult, I know that's because I was ADHD. I did not know that then, but I had a high tolerance for stress. I would multitask all the time. I took on a lot of different things, and I was very good at a lot of different things. One of my mentors and previous supervisors, like, she would just give me so many different tasks to do. And she really was grooming me to be like an operations director or something, because she would just give me different tasks and I could always just figure out how to do them. Like, it was nothing. And it worked for me because my brain needed new things to be stimulated. There are certain things, though, now that I just do not have the capacity for. I don't have the same capacity for stress as I did before. I don't have the same capacity and ability to multitask as I did before. It doesn't mean I can't do it, but it takes a little bit more for me to be able to do it. I will say, before, I was very, very independent. I did a lot of things myself. I would rarely ask people for help. I would never let anybody know that I needed help. I would just figure it out, even if it took me, months and months and months, right? Now, okay, I have to enlist the help of others. I have to be very intentional about listening to my body, about saying no. I used to try and do things all the time. I know some of my babes, some of my people are yes people. Some of you are yes people. And in some ways, I have been a yes person. I want to be there for people. I want to show up for people. I want to, be at all the functions and do all the things. But the reality is, the more I say yes, the more I'm also saying no to me. The more I am stressing myself, overextending myself, overcommitting myself, the more taxing it can be on my body. And because of the autoimmune disorder that I have to be very mindful of not stressing myself out, of not doing too much. When I'm tired, I have to allow myself to be tired. I have to give myself permission to be tired. I hope you hear that. Because, and I say that intentionally because you can give yourself that same permission. A lot of us, we say that we're tired, yet we still keep on. And at some point that has to stop. At some point that has to stop. I had to, and you have to do this too. I'm telling you all of this because this is what you need to hear. I know somebody needs to hear this today, okay? I have to enlist the help of others. There are so many things in this lifetime, in business, that I have tried to do on my own, and it has taken me years to figure it out. Okay. There was something, what was it this summer? Oh, I was working on building my my course, right? And I was trying to figure out how to get my web address pointed over. This is the story of my life. Get my web address pointed over to where I wanted people to go to. I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say, but the girlies that know all the technical terms, I bought my web address from the place, but I wanted it to be on my site. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. In a particular place that I wanted it, I could not figure out how to do this to save my life. Now, me, because I'm someone who does a lot of things myself, I've done websites before. I've built them. Apple used to have a iWeb or, an app on there. I've done websites on Squarespace. I've done them on Wix. Like, I've been able to figure it out, right? So I wasn't going to pay somebody to do that. I can do it. I've done it before. But this particular one, I could not figure out how to do it to save my life. And when I tell you, I spent over a month trying to figure out how to move it. I read as many tutorials as I could. I called the people that own the platform. I was like, I need help. They would send me videos on how to do it. But the troubleshooting things, it wasn't really answering my questions, and customer service was awful. I digress. Eventually, I had the bright idea to go on Fiverr. So I go on Fiverr. I find somebody who is an expert in that platform and who does all the things. Paid this man $15. He had that thing done in 5 minutes. I spent more hours and lost money. This was time that I could have been spending doing something else within my zone of genius, right? Instead, I'm over here trying to tinker when really what I should have done in the first place is ask someone else for help. Ask someone who knows what they're doing for help. But I'm spending all this time stressing myself out trying to get something done when if I had just asked for help, it could have been done a long time ago. Okay? So I have to be, and you have to be, intentional about what you can and can't do, what's within your zone of genius, what you need to outsource, and find the people that are already in your life that can help you. I know now that I have to be very intentional about listening to my body, or my body will break down. I have to say no, even when it hurts people's feelings. Okay? If I know that that my schedule is insane and I'm already overbooked, even if my mama asks me to do something, okay? I know that I have to, and yes, you do things for family, okay? You do things for your mama, okay? Even when you're tired, you still do them. But I also know that if I do another thing, I will be laid out on the couch for 3 days, not able to move. And so it's a choice that I am making to not go there with myself. Okay. And sometimes people, their feelings get hurt by you saying no. And that is because they aren't used to you prioritizing yourself. They're not used to you prioritizing your health over their wants and needs. And this is something new for them. They're going to have to adjust to that too. Just like you've had to adjust to the new you and what you can and can't do at this point, they're going to have to adjust to it too. Give them their space to make whatever adjustment they need to make, but do not compromise. Because you will be the one, again, laid out because you overdid it. It took me quite a while, to accept what I'll call defeat, to accept defeat over the things that were triggering me and causing me to flare up with the sarcoidosis. I still am learning things about it, but I do know that stress and heat in particular is a lot for me. And I'm a summer baby. I love the sun. I love being outside. But if I'm outside for too long, it's a wrap for me. That's when I get sick. So I know that I can't do it. I used to love to run, and I used to love to run outdoors, and I could run outdoors. Here in Atlanta, there's a Peachtree Road race that is in July 4th every year. And that sucker is hot. Okay. They canceled it, I want to say last year because it got too hot. It was critically hot and nobody should have been outside. But I used to run that. Used to run it. And I can't do that anymore. I can't run outside like that because of the heat. The heat does something to my body where I am done for days. I just can't do it. But I know that. I should be able, in my mind, I keep telling myself, I should be able to multitask like a mad woman because I used to be able to do it. I could do it, every day of the week, I could just run and do it. When I was in grad school, I worked a full-time job, 40 hours a week, and I would fly on weekends to Philadelphia to take classes on the weekends. Okay. I couldn't dream of doing that mess now. There's no way I could do it now because I know that right now, with everything I have going on here, my family needs, my own personal needs, I wouldn't be at peace trying to do that right now. A lot of the stress is brought on for us by our own should statements, what we should be able to do because of who we were at a time when we didn't have what we have now. We might have been able to handle that stress because our lives were different. We didn't have the same responsibilities. What I will tell you, first and foremost, is that I'm not that girl anymore. But yet and still, I am that girl. I am that girl. And you are too. I want to talk to you today, not about just listening to your body, but honoring your body, honoring your mind, honoring your spirit, and what it's telling you. As high achieving women, I know that we stay busy, we don't rest enough, we prioritize others, we put off doctor's appointments, we push through pain, we ignore symptoms, and you know what else? We suffer because of it. We suffer, and we create patterns for the people, the relationships in our lives that hinge on our suffering. One example of that is that we have kids and partners who are so dependent on us that they can't do anything for themselves. They're so dependent on us because we've created an environment where we do it all. And then we get mad when they don't step up or help out. Number one, they don't know how to because we haven't prepped them. And two, you have always said, I got it. Don't worry about it. I'm going to do it. This is for me to do. Sit there. Do your homework. Don't do nothing. You don't have to. How many times have we told our kids, your only job is to go to school? Your only job is to go to school. Technically, yes. But that don't mean that room ain't supposed to be clean, that you don't need to learn how to clean a bathroom, that you can't vacuum, that you don't need to know how to cook. The greatest thing that I could do for my daughter is to teach her how to make her own food. Because when I don't feel like getting up, I can say, go make you some ramen. You know how to make a grilled cheese? You know how to fry some chicken wings in an air fryer? That's the greatest lesson because now I don't have to do it and she knows how to be self-sufficient. It's taking something off of me. We're sitting up here, some of us are sitting here managing our blood pressure and our cholesterol through pills when, if we would prioritize our health and wellness, diet and exercise. But the pill is easier. The pill is faster. The pill takes less effort for us because we need that time and energy to do something for somebody else, something we don't want to do, okay? Or something they should be doing for themselves. We are overcommitted to things that we simply don't want or don't need to be doing. And then showing up to the function, mad and resentful. That makes absolutely no sense, especially when it's us, when we are the ones that are overcommitting. We're saying yes too much. We're doing too much, right? We're saying yes an overwhelming amount of times, right? And then we show up like, I don't want to be here, mad and resentful. Them people don't want your hating ass there with a sour puss. I love using that word. Nobody wants you there being sour and bitter and resentful because you have to be somewhere that you don't want to be. Okay? It's one thing to have a requirement to be there like it's a function for your job. But when you volunteer to be somewhere because you've overextended yourself. I had a client one time, she was on about 20 boards. She was on a board member at all these different places. She was a very giving person, loved her down. But she was on all these boards and then upset that she didn't have a life, that she didn't have a partner, that she had a social life within all of these groups, but her personal life was in shambles. Her relationship suffered. She didn't have time for herself. She was always tired. And I'm like, you're giving more to those people, to other people, than you are yourself. You got to say yes to you, sis. You are and always and forever will be that girl. But it's time to get better acquainted with who she is, what she needs, and what's going to make her happy. And I'm here for that. I'm absolutely here for that. That's what I do with my one-on-one coaching. I say this every month. I usually open up a few slots every month, and I'm extending that to you today. If these are things, if you are overcommitted, overwhelmed, don't know how to say no, don't know how to push back, want to improve your relationships, but don't know how, need the language, come sit down with your girl, because I really do want to help you. I am sick and tired of y'all being sick and tired. And I want to help you get out of that pattern. So if you are ready to make some changes in your relationships with yourself and with everybody else around you, holler at your girl. Come on in. I've got some sessions for what I call relationship reset coaching. Just email your girl, support@drtiffanyhenry.com, and I will get you all set up on your free 15-minute coffee chat. That is a very relaxing conversation that we'll have to just make sure that you're appropriate for the service and that you know all that you need to know about it, okay? So just email me, say I'm interested in one-on-one coaching, or go on over to FYRcommunity.com, the Fix Your Relationship community over on Facebook, FYR community, and just ask a question about one-on-one coaching. And I'm sure there's something posted there. You'll be able to sign right up, okay? All right, this has been this week's episode of Fix Your Relationships podcast. I'm Dr. Tiff, and I'm so thankful, grateful, and all the things for you being here. And I hope to see you again next week. Ciao. Hey, babe, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. My goal with this podcast is to bless you with information that helps you fix those relationships that are most important to you, but not before you do the self-work needed to make sure that those relationships thrive. If this episode was exactly what you needed, then guess what? Somebody else probably needs it too. So do me and them a favor. Please share this episode with your good girlfriend and let her know about the podcast. And while you're at it, hop on over to Apple Podcasts and leave a review. This really helps to grow the podcast and puts it right in front of other women who are desperate to work on their relationships and themselves. And if you haven't done so already, I want to invite you to join our community of like-minded women all on a journey to become the one. You can sign up for free at becometheone.myflowdesk.com/email. I know that's a lot, so just go on over to the show notes and click that link there. Thanks again for listening to Fix Your Relationships with Dr. Tiff. I'll see you right back here next week.